Hello everybody. Today in this video we're going to be talking about tall grass. So on our farm, to give you a little bit of context, we live in like a semi-suburban area, I guess, but
Now, it all used to be farms.
yes, it used to be farms. It's not a suburb, but I would call it semi-suburban.
Yeah.
But every year, we get a visit from code enforcement about our grass, and we've come to expect it now.
It's like clockwork. Every April.
Every April, somebody shows up. So what we're going to do in this video is talk about why we don't mow our grass every week to a 1/4 inch tall with non-renewable fossil fuels. We're going to talk about what we do with our grass. We're going to talk about the benefits of letting your grass grow a little bit taller. And then we're going to talk about the morality and the ethics behind it. So,
Not of growing your grass tall, but just the situation.
yeah, specifically. And I suppose there are some aspects of morality involved with letting your grass grow tall based on how we're going to frame it. But, so let's just get right into it. So instead of mowing our grass every week here on the farm, what we do is we let it grow up tall. We let it get about a foot tall, and then we go through and cut it with a scythe.
Daily. A little section daily.
Jared mows a little section daily with the scythe. And what we used it for in the past was to feed rabbits, and then we would make compost with their manure. But what we use it for right now is to feed our chickens and our geese, and then we also let them scratch through it and make compost from that. We did a little video about our grass and chicken-based compost system. If you're interested, I'll put a link to that video in the description that shows how we make compost with the grass clippings. So we're not just being negligent and letting our grass grow, all season long and never ever cutting it, even though I would be okay with that if someone chose to do that, because for the most part, I think the ritual of cutting your grass every week is basically
It's gotten out of control.
useless.
Yeah.
I understand cutting an area of your yard if you want to, you want to play in that area, do recreation in that area. But I don't understand this incessant need to keep your grass that short. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. So that's what we do with the grass here on the farm. But there's also lots of auxiliary benefits to letting your grass grow up that tall, even if that's not the specific reason we're doing it. Number one is it's a great habitat for all sorts of bugs and insects. And because we let our grass grow up tall, we have seen so many wasps and bugs that
Crazy caterpillars, all kinds of native bees.
we've never seen before in our life.
Yeah.
So, everyone seems to be worried about the bees dying, but at the same time, no one seems to care about the bees dying.
Yeah.
So
The native bees.
right, one of the benefits is a habitat for pollinators and nectar food for the pollinators, the bees, but not just the bees, other wasps and insects as well.
All kinds of butterflies, moths.
So even if you don't want to let your, the entirety of your yard grow up, you can even just leave a section, let it grow up, let the bugs, the bees, let them have their area. Number two, you don't have to mow your grass every week, and you save that time. Once again, people seem to like to complain about having to mow their grass, but they still feel the need to do it.
Yeah.
But, if you're interested, take that hour and, I don't know, go do something fun. Spend time with your kids or your dog, or go to the park. Number three, you don't have to pay for gas. You save money on gas. Number four, you can sort of encourage other people that it's okay to step outside of this social norm a little bit, and that if you don't cut your grass and you let it grow a little bit taller than normal, you're not gonna like explode. Code enforcement may come talk to you, but I feel like we need people stepping outside of the norms that don't make sense,
Yeah.
and stepping into the ones that are going to help the future of the planet, the future of people, and we all need to be a little bit more understanding with each other. Like, maybe I want to cut my grass every week, but if you don't want to, that's not negatively affecting me, and that's okay for you to do that. And I know people are probably going to be like, "Oh, mosquitoes," but mosquitoes live in like stagnant, dirty water. So
Yeah, that and other habitats too. I mean, we also find them just up in our forest, which is where there's not stagnant water. I don't.
and there's also not tall grass in our forest.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm going to push back on that one a little bit.
yeah,
But there's lots of benefits to letting your grass grow tall. And beyond that, we here on the farm have a specific purpose. We use it for animal feed and for composting. Um, so I guess it's just made us a bit sad that people feel that they have to do this thing. So now I guess we're going to move into that, the ethics and morality of someone feeling like they need to call code enforcement because someone's grass is tall. So
yeah.
I'm gonna let Jared take over for this section.
Yeah, I guess in this whole situation, yeah, like you said, 4 years we've been having them come around every single year in April. And I am just getting to the point where, who is this hurting? And instead of somebody, we work from home, so I would know. We've had 0 people stop by and say, "Hey, I see your grass is getting tall. Can I mow your yard? Do you need help? Is your lawnmower broke down? Are you hurt? What? Can I help you?"
Yeah, or even just being able to have a conversation like, "Hey, I would prefer your grass be short. Is there, why are you choosing to do this?" And
Yeah,
instead of
that would be a nice conversation to have.
which
But I am just sad and disappointed. No, you feel the need, instead of coming to talk to me and asking me if I need help because I'm not living up to your standards for whatever reason, you feel the need to call the law and report me. But let's just step back and ask the question: should this be a law? That when they first showed up the very first year, you have to keep your grass under 10 inches in the county. We're not in an HOA. We are literally on farmland, and I actually had to tell them that this is agriculturally zoned. This is agriculture.
not that we're like big fans of
No, of zoning,
but
no.
under their own rules.
Yeah, we're following your rules here.
Not to mention the right to farm.
Yeah, where we are in Kentucky, there's the right to farm. Um, and I thought that applied to every zoning, but it may not. I thought it maybe did. If you're trying to do something agriculture, they're saying they want to promote agriculture, growing a garden. And so if anything is deemed agriculture, which that he wanted to come and really see that we had chickens when he first stopped by. He wanted to come and really see that we're verify. And I'm like, can you not hear him? But yeah, it's very strange. But should this be a law? Should this be a law?
I mean,
You know,
I think there are more important things that we should be worried about besides
oh yeah,
the height
way more important
of people's
things.
grass.
And I am shocked by the cowardice by whoever makes these calls every single year. I'm disappointed, and I definitely wish that we had people who would be more loving and more graceful and show up and say, "Hey, do you need help? Is that what's going on here?" Instead of somebody calling the law. They have better things to do with their time.
I'm confident that they do.
they have better things to do with their time. And me and the officer are kind of buddies now. And yeah, And hey Joe, what's going on? Yeah, um, he's got to come out because somebody called. I know what you're doing, but I got to come out. But it's really sad.
It's sad that like people's money is going to people coming, is paying someone
Yes,
to
this
come
is
out,
what your tax dollars are going to.
not to like help people find housing or
Yeah.
jobs
Yeah.
or
Yeah, they're going around to people who are trying to grow the most dense and nutrient dense food in the most beautiful and beneficial way for everybody. I would think that's my opinion. And harass them, which is just sad.
I think that this just points to a couple like societal issues. I think there's a real problem right now that people can't have a conversation with someone who's doing something different than what they think is right.
Yeah.
Because the person didn't stop and say, hey, I really don't like this. I don't understand what you're doing. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And
I would rather you be mad to my face. Yeah.
and then we could hopefully have a conversation and say, hey, I get it. You may not love how it looks. We personally think it looks beautiful.
Let me show you the beauty. Let's
It's
have a conversation about
It's a
it.
habitat.
Yeah.
It produces compost. So I get that it may not be your preference, but can you allow me to do this thing that is not hurting anyone, and I would argue is helping? But anyways, I think it points to that issue. And then I just think it points to the fact, a lot of people seem to be surface level concerned about food insecurity, the quality of food that they're eating, the future of the planet, but nobody really seems to want to do anything about it. It's up to like somebody else to do something about it, because not mowing your yard or even just letting a section of it grow wild to provide habitat, it's no work. It's literally less work than most people are doing right now.
It's less work, yeah.
But people just won't do it because I don't feel like that they can push past that societal pressure, and that, well, it's the normal thing to do. And so I think that's an issue. And I hope if you find this video and you stayed on till the end, that maybe you consider letting a part of your yard grow up wild.
I want to propose something here, and for neighborhoods that are sort of like ours, that are kind of rural, suburban, edge. Is that something? I think we have a good sized yard. I would really like to see something like, at Fort Nagley in Nashville during the summer months. They have this team of sheep that they move all around this old Civil War site to manage the grass. I would like to see neighborhoods get together and let their grass grow up and have the sheep move from yard to yard.
That would be so badass, because then the whole neighborhood would like have food.
Yeah, we're growing sheep
And
in the neighborhood.
Grass would be cut.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
And if you don't, even if you like can't do something of that caliber, I know that there's like No Mow May and No Mow April. Like those things are starting to catch on in some circles.
True, yeah.
People like recognize like, oh, the pollinators need a source of food. The bees coming out from winter need a source of food, so I'm not gonna mow my grass for this month, and I think that's great. So even if that's like how you start, is participating in a no mow month and just get it, because you'll probably have people come up to you and be like, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you cutting your grass? And then you can at least start a conversation with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another really cool thing, though, I think, is like once you actually get into foraging, not
Yes.
foraging, you don't see grass anymore. You see, there's a violet patch. Oh, there's some lettuce.
And
There's
it
some thistle.
seems that the more that we've like let our yard grow up and cut it in sections, like we've only seen more and more like wild edible and wild medicinal species,
Yeah.
coming in. Like, you go see a yard that's mowed every week and it's just grass and maybe a couple dandelions that they're probably spraying with Roundup and trying to get rid of. But the more you let it grow, like, no kidding, I should do kind of like a walk around video.
Yeah,
And,
just
like,
right here,
the
like not even
smallest
20
area, there's like wild
blackberries behind us.
wild lettuce, plantain. There's just so many things in like the violets, dandelion.
Yeah, violence and
So many edibles and medicinals in like the smallest area.
Yeah.
So I guess that's our rant for the day. Those are our thoughts. We're thinking about getting some shirts made.
Yes.
If you would be interested, we're going to try to find a local person who can make us some shirts that say something like Tall Grass Club with some cool local native flowers that are growing up. And then another shirt maybe that says something like, what could we do, or how much food could we grow with 55 million acres of lawn?
Yeah, I think that's the right number.
Yeah, I've seen it
close.
twice. It's between. I saw one estimate that said 55 million, and I saw another estimate that said 40 million.
Take the low number,
so
40 million acres.
Yeah, we'll say 40 million acres. What could we grow on 40 million acres? Not to mention if that was changed into like a garden or even just like native flowers, wildflowers, like how many like pesticides that would like take out of use out of the groundwater, you know, because you know a lot of those lawns are being manicured and sprayed. So this is a really easy first step if you want to do something beneficial for your neighborhood, for the planet. So I challenge you to do it. You know, participate in No Mow Month, or just square off an area of your yard.
Mow less and mow higher.
Yeah, sure. Even that. Just mow every 3 weeks instead of every 3 days.
Every 3, I swear. Yeah.
So anyways, this has been our little rant. We're going to get some shirts made. I'll link to those in the description if you want to support the farm or support the cause of just having people do things that make sense for the planet.
Yeah.
So let us know what you think. You may be like, no, this is crazy. Y'all are crazy.
Sure, it's crazy.
Maybe you're interested, or maybe you do let your grass grow up tall already, and that's excellent. But we appreciate you all watching, and let us know if you have any questions, comments. If you want to subscribe to the channel, we do a lot of farming content. We also do wood turning. Jared is a wood turner, so we have some woodworking content as well. We appreciate you guys, and thanks for watching. Do you have anything else to say?
Nope.
Okay.
Bye.
Myself going.
Who's on first?
Welcome back.
Hackberry.